Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 133. The album that I'll be reviewing this evening is N.W.A's debut album, Straight Outta Compton, released in 1988. For those who don't know who N.W.A is, N.W.A is an acronym for Niggas with Attitude. That's what it stands for. The founder of the group is Eazy-E. Rest in peace, Eazy-E. Got their start back around 1986. The members consisted of 3 members only. It was Eazy-E himself, Dr. Dre, and DJ Yella. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella at one point was part of the Wrecking Crew. You know what I mean? And then that was only for a little bit. You know what I mean? The sound was a bit different. It was like a more electronic bass. It was like more. It was hip hop, but it was like electronic bass. Something similar to that, I would have to say Mantronics. If you guys are familiar with Mantronics, then you could kind of get an idea with that. So they formed N.W.A around '86. It was only 3 members, like I said before. And then Ice Cube eventually ended up, him and Arabian Prince ended up joining the group around the same time. Ice Cube had a group called CIA with Sir Jinx, and I forgot the other member of the group. But then I believe they came out with an EP. I could imagine that should be hard to come by. And matter of fact, I believe was out. If I'm not mistaken, they actually came. They actually had one song off the N.W.A and the Posse album, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And so they ended up joining forces, whatever. And then in 1987, they had dropped an album called N.W.A and the Posse. Well, there's some controversy towards that album because the record label they were under, McCullough Records at the time, this is before Ruthless Records, it caused a lot of controversy because there was only 3 songs that N.W.A was part of. So there was only 3 songs by N.W.A, and I think there was like 2 or 3 Eazy-E solo tracks with featured guests and stuff like that, and the rest are artists that was like affiliated with the record label. I had nothing to do with N.W.A and shit like that. So that was actually a bootleg, but it actually went gold. So a lot of people dub it like the best-selling bootleg album of all time and stuff like that. So things of that nature. But in that album is the first time you hear like songs like Dope Man, Boys in the Hood, shit like that. But I need to get my hands on that. That's just it's hard to find. It's out of print, but it doesn't go for a lot of money online. But anyways, getting back to that. So, like I said, with all that being said, after that, then that's when 1988, eventually MC Ren had joined the group. You know what I mean? So because MC Ren wasn't even on that album that I just spoke about. So and then eventually now N.W.A consists of Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, DJ Yella, MC Ren, and Arabian Prince for this album. So it's really 6 members if you be more specific. Alright, this is what the album cover looks like. Fucking dope, you know what I mean? Straight to the point, you know what I'm saying? CZ with the fucking 9mm or whatever gun that is. He's just pointing at you. He's about to get smoked. This what the album looks like, the thank yous and the credits and all that. Production's done by Dr. Dre and DJ Yella. So, by the way, this is the 1988 OG pressing. So this is not the 2002 edition that has like bonus tracks. I think it's like 3 or 4 bonus tracks because the original got 13 tracks. I believe the 2002 reissue has like I think like 4 or 5 songs, and then you got the 2007 reissue that came out. I don't have that, but I'm good with this. You know what I mean? Because I haven't had it in a while. So, but the singles off the album is Straight Outta Compton. That's the first single. Gangsta Gangsta, which was a single as well. And Express Yourself, which they have a video for. Alright. You know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks. Alright. Track 1, Straight Outta Compton. Self-explanatory. It's pretty much it's just pretty much them introducing themselves. And to me, Ice Cube started off perfectly. I mean, he to me set the tone of the album. Well, the song itself set the tone of the album, but he actually set the tone of the vibe of the song. You know what I mean? Just yo, this is like yo, he killed that shit. To me, I think him and MC Ren had the best verses on that whole in that whole song. Dope video too. You know what I mean? You know, obviously Eazy-E did his thing. By the way, Dr. Dre and Eazy-E didn't write the lyrics. Ice Cube and MC Ren was the one that wrote the lyrics and stuff like that. But they do deliver, you know what I mean? So that's nothing to take away anything from it. But everybody knows that. So I thought I just put that out there. Track 2, Fuck the Police. Very controversial song. I fucking love it. I definitely agree. Fuck the police. Not all. I do have friends or acquaintances that are cops. They're good people, but the majority of cops today, man, like they're getting out of control. You know what I mean? And it's very hard for me to respect them. It's, you know what I mean? And you know, they always have the nerve to talk about, that we need to stop the whole stop snitching shit. But y'all need to just, you know, practice what you preach, because there's a lot of cops out there, you know, that are good cops, but they don't speak out against their colleagues. So it's kind of hypocritical on their part, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. But I'm getting off topic. But self-explanatory, just sort of about police brutality and stuff like that. What I like about this song is that they kind of presented it as kind of like in a court setting where, like, you know, Dr. Dre is a judge. I believe MC Ren was like the bailiff, like the court officer, you know what I mean? And then they all speak about the experience they have with the cops and shit like that. So very dope. Fucking love that song. That song is so controversial. It came to the point where the FBI themselves actually sent a letter, and the Secret Service of, you know, Washington D.C. actually sent Ruthless Records a letter saying like, yo, please stop selling this album, or if you're gonna keep selling the album, take that song off. And they wouldn't budge. So I believe because of that, they were banned, you know, throughout certain venues throughout the country and stuff like that. But that's what I respect about N.W.A. Like they stuck to their guns, and they were like, fuck that. We expressing ourselves. It's freedom of speech, you know what I mean? So I'm a firm believer in that. But pretty dope concept, like I said. Like, it's in the court setting, and then they all speak their piece on how they, you know, been profiled by the cops. So I could definitely relate to that. Track 3, Gangsta Gangsta. Pretty dope song. I believe that's like Ice Cube solo track, if I'm not mistaken. I think, yeah, it is. Eazy-E, I believe he does, like, he has Ice Cube has the first 3 he does the first 3 verses, and the last verse is Eazy-E. You know, it's pretty much talking about how shit goes down in Compton and stuff like that. Pretty dope. Ice Cube, he definitely delivers in this album. He definitely shines in this album, man. Like, you know, when you hear Ice Cube, you can definitely tell it was everybody's favorite member of the group and stuff like that. Track 4, If It Ain't Rough, that's an MC Ren solo track. He does his thing on that joint right there. That was pretty cool. Track 5, Parental Discretion is Advised. Obviously, all the members rap except for DJ Yellow, that he doesn't rap. With that song, is actually an introduction to D.O.C. Shout out to D.O.C. I need to get his first album, No One Can Do It Better. I do have his second album, Helter Skelter, that came out back in '96. Eventually I'll have to do a review on his albums. But very dope cut right there. Parental discretion is advised. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, this album contains explicit lyrics. If I'm not mistaken, N.W.A. was the first, or if not one of the first. No, they were one of the first artists to get this parental discretion advisory content label. Just a little, you know, trivia for you guys right there. Pretty dope song. Track 6, 8 Ball remix. That's an Eazy-E. That's an Eazy-E. Eazy-E solo track. You know, it's pretty much talking about him on, you know, drinking 8 Ball, aka Oli English 1800 for my people that don't know. Well, 8 Ball for them is the Oli. That's what 8 Ball means. But it's just him talking about him being drunk on Oli and just him just wilding out. Just like, you know, like we see somebody right there, he feels like a threat, he fucks with them. He hollers at the chicks, you know, things like that under the influence. And that's pretty much what I got from that track. Pretty cool track right there. Track 7, something like that. Um, that's an MC Ren and Dr. Dre track. Very dope shit. It's a braggadocio track, but they both deliver. I mean, the chemistry between them two, them rapping, even Dr. Dre delivers too. Yeah, they both did their thing. You know what I mean? MC Ren, you can tell like that dude. His pen game is crazy. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool right there. Track 8, Express Yourself. That's a Dr. Dre solo track. That's a single as well. You know, there's a video for that. You know, he's pretty much talking about, you know, radio outlets, you know, the TV state, pretty much the media trying to censor people like themselves. Like, you know, we have the freedom of speech. You need to express yourself. So, you know, they cover, you know, talks about censorship, you know, within the record labels, the record stores not selling their stuff, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? So, which is very relatable today because now you can't even express yourself. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the whole thing with the Confederate flag, which I think is nonsense in my opinion. You know, I don't agree with the flag, but I don't think you should ban the flag. That's just my opinion. But I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for that, but I don't care. How else are we gonna know what they are? You know what I mean? I think the Confederate flag, you know, identifies them. Even though not everybody that rocks the Confederate flag is racist, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just crazy though. But Express Yourself, just sort of about censorship and things like that. Track 9, Compton's in the House remix. I believe that's another song. That's another MC Ren and Dr. Dre track. They both deliver on that joint right there. I mean, the chemistry between them two, they definitely goes in on that joint right there. Track 10, I Ain't the One. That's an Ice Cube solo track. Fucking love that song. It's pretty much talking about these chicks, these gold digger chicks, man, that, you know, they try to play games on niggas. And he's just saying, like, yo, I ain't the one. I mean, he's not a stranger of making songs like that. I've done Ice Cube's first 4 album reviews on his first 4 albums. Definitely check it out when you guys get a chance. In my opinion, the only albums you need to check out from Ice Cube, you can check his later albums, but I'm not too fond of them. They're not as good as the first 4. That's just my opinion. But anyways, getting back to this song, I Ain't the One. Like I said, you know, he's talking about these girls trying to play games on dudes, but you know, he's like, yo, saying like, yo, you're not gonna take advantage of me. Like, you're gonna try to take advantage of me, I'm gonna take advantage of you. You know, that type of thing. You know, everybody can relate to that. You know what I mean? And vice versa. If you're a girl, you got a dude acting like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of my women out there could relate to that joint right there. Track 11, Dope Man remix. That song right there was actually featured on the N.W.A Posse cut. I mean, the N.W.A and the Posse album. And like I said, the only thing different was I believe in the original version, there was an added sample with the Ohio Play, the Funky Worm sample. With this one, it's just straight drums, and Ice Cube is the only cat rapping on that. Because I think he had like I believe Eazy-E was on the track too on the original one. But I kind of like this one better than the one on the previous album that I just mentioned. It's just pretty much talking about how drug dealers live their day, man. Just like they wake up, they cook up what they have to cook up, sell it to the you know, to the fiends, to the drug addicts, whatever. And that's pretty much their day-to-day life, man. And you know what I'm saying? That's a pretty dope track, man. That should have been a single, but you know, for obvious reasons, it's not. You know, because at that time, that whole crack is whack campaign was going on too, and you had the crack epidemic around that time, so it definitely wouldn't have been wise for them to put that as a single. So, track 12, Quiet on the Set. That's an MC Ren. Yeah, that's an MC Ren solo track. He definitely did a single on that joint right there. Pretty dope. And track 13, the last track, Something to Dance To. That song features Arabian Prince. Excuse me, who I'll talk about in a little bit. It's like you ever hear a couple of verses. It's not that long as far as like verse wise. It's mostly instrumental. But Arabian Prince, he says a couple bars here and there, and I believe Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, they spit some stuff too. And that's pretty much it. My only thing with that song, Something to Dance To, it doesn't really fit the album in my opinion. It sounded like Miami bass music, if that makes sense, like Two Live Crew. Like, it just had that vibe to it. It just didn't really fit the album. That's just my opinion. And that was the kind of music that Arabian Prince was making, and which is why he left the group. Because I feel like based on what I read on an interview with him, he left the group because for one, he was a solo artist at first. Excuse me. And two, like, he saw the bullshit that was going on, like niggas wasn't getting their royalties, so he saw the bullshit out of that. So realistically, he was the first member of N.W.A to leave N.W.A. It wasn't Ice Cube. He was the known artist out of N.W.A to leave the group, but it was actually Arabian Prince that left the group first, then Ice Cube, because I believe Ice Cube and Arabian Prince, they went to school together, so they were like friends and shit like that. Arabian Prince, his music, it's kind of reminiscent of Mantronics, like has like that electro rap, if that makes sense, kind of like the synths and the 808s and stuff like that. Something like It's Just Your Lover did, because at that time around the early to mid 80s, that was the sound of the West. That was the sound of West Coast hip hop. It was like electro rap with 808s and stuff like that. Things of that nature, especially Ice-T's earlier stuff, like even before he came out with the album, because he has a couple of songs out around that time, and then a lot of his music sounded the same like that too. And then after this album, Ice Cube left the group because it's the same thing with Arabian Prince, and that caused a lot of controversy. And then they ended up dissing Ice Cube and things like that. And you know how that go, which I'll get into when I do the review on their second album, Niggas for Life, which I will probably review tomorrow or Friday. But overall, dope album, classic album. It broke ground. Is a groundbreaking album. Excuse me. I mean, just because of the shit they were talking about, they did not give a fuck. A lot of MCs weren't doing that back then. You know what I mean? They just said what they had to say. And because of that, especially with the FBI sending them letters to stop selling the album or stop take off the song "Fuck the Police" and shit like that. I believe this album was actually their best-selling album to date, and it actually went platinum 3 times platinum. 4 years later, back in 1992. So that tells you something right there. Is it my favorite album for them? No, it's not. And I'll get into that when I do the next review. They're supposed to come out with a movie on Friday. Definitely go support. I'm definitely gonna go see that shit. I know that shit's gonna be dope. I heard from several colleagues on Facebook, they saying that shit is dope. So I'm definitely gonna go to the movie theater and see that shit. But yeah, man, like I said, dope album. I just feel like Something to Dance To didn't fit the album. It should have been like on Arabian Prince's album or some shit like that. That's just my opinion. But overall, dope album. Very relatable on some of the stuff they say. Maybe not on the gangster shit, but just like living in the hood, just like how the hood is at the time. Things like that. And I have to say this too. A lot of people talk shit about gangster rap being not being positive and things like that. Ice-T said it best. He said, gangster rap is not supposed to be positive. And that's so true. Because what I take out of gangster rap is supposed to be something that it makes you aware. Shit for you not to do. You see what I'm saying? All them niggas that go out and shoot motherfuckers and because they hear the song, they don't really get the point of the song, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They're missing the whole point of the song. It's entertainment, but at the same time, it makes you aware. You see what I'm saying? That's what I get out from that. That's what I get from gangster rap. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it in a nutshell as far as the album. Like I said, classic album. Not my favorite album for them, but you definitely gotta respect the contribution they gave into the game. Also, by the way, a lot of people keep saying N.W.A is the prime pioneers of gangster rap. They are one of them, but the pioneers realistically is cats like Melly Mel, or was it Melly Mel or Grandmaster Caz? The one dude that one that did White Lines where they talk about sniffing cocaine. That's considered like a gangster track. Like one of the origins of gangster rap. Do you have cats like, you know, Just Dayz, who I feel like does never get recognition, that never gets talked about. He never got his just due, I feel. Shout out to Just Dayz and Schoolie D out of Philly. That's another dude that doesn't get recognition. Shout out to Schoolie D too. I have him as a friend on Facebook. He's pretty cool. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, support dope hip hop. Support the movie. Definitely check that shit out. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be dope. I'm fucking hyped about it. You know what I mean? So, and just because the movie's coming out, I just had to review this. I was gonna review this before the movie came out, but just because the movie's coming out this week, definitely had to pick it up. I definitely had to do a review on this album. That's it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Stay tuned for more videos, beat videos, all that good stuff, rants, things of that nature. Peace.